Hello everyone, hope that you're all good. Welcome to today's class, and this one it's the second Niyama that we're now looking at, and this one is called Santosha, and Santosha means contentment. So the ideas that we're going to think about and cultivate in the yoga practice today will be a sense of gratitude, appreciating what we already have in our life, not trying to strive for something else. And also just finding that calmness, that peace that always resides within us. So today there's going to be some really nice heart opening, shoulder opening, stuff that's just going to really take us right into the centre and just feeling that really nice sense of peace and calmness. So for today's practice, you don't need a belt, but you can grab a blanket or a block if that's going to help you in your practice. And then once you're ready, we'll start off lying down on the floor. So just bringing yourself all the way down. And either lengthening out your legs or keeping your legs bent. Just resting the arms and resting the hands wherever it feels natural for you to rest right now. Just gently tucking in your chin slightly so that you've got a nice length in the neck. Just finding that stillness that you've come to now. So whatever has happened to you right now before practicing this class, just be aware of that. Just be aware of how you're feeling. Just being aware of the body and what you are feeling right now in the physical body. So noticing the muscles, maybe the joints, without judging, just simply being aware of what you are working with today when you come to the practice. And I always say that every time that you come to practice yoga, we may do very similar things, but it may be a very different experience depending on how the body's feeling, how we're feeling mentally, how we're feeling emotionally. And take a moment to tune in with that, how you're feeling emotionally and mentally right now. Remembering not to judge, just simply be aware of that. And then just see if you can relax into the body. So soften the shoulders, let the back spread, let the back relax onto the earth. Feeling that the face can soften. Let go if you're frowning, if you're tensing up the forehead or if you're gripping around the jaw, just let it go. Let the tummy soften from here. And then from that calm point in the body, then just start to become aware of the breath as you start to slowly watch your breath, watch your inhales, watch your exhales. And as the breath starts to slow down, notice how your attention drops inwards more. When we allow ourselves to be in the moment, when we allow ourselves to be slow, we really start to cultivate this being in the present, being in this place, being able to work with those feelings of gratitude in the moment. And from gratitude, there comes this sense of peace and calmness. When it feels good, then start to slowly breathe in and out through the nose. And just be aware how that feels around the belly area, around the rib cage, and aware of the movement around the chest and the upper lungs. Just spend a moment just simply feeling the breath, having gratitude just for the moment right now, the gratitude to be just peaceful and calm, simply being with the breath. And don't worry, there might be other things that you might be thinking about or maybe things, concerns or worries that you have for the day ahead. Just let yourself just keep returning back to this calmness of the breath and the sense of peace that you can create with the breath. If it feels okay when you breathe in, just let yourself hold that breath in for a few moments, and then a long, slow, calm exhale out. Breathing in, and once you've felt that you've reached that fullness of the breath, hold it in for a few moments. Then a long, slow, calm exhale out. We'll do that a few more times, just taking that gentle fullness of the breath in. Pausing once you've breathed in. Notice that stillness, that calmness within that pause. And a long, slow exhale out. We'll do one more nice full, calm breath in. Once that breath is full, hold it in, pause, feel that stillness, that calmness. And a long, slow exhale out. Let your legs bend from here and hug your knees in towards the chest. And slowly just taking a rock from side to side from here. And then allowing our feet to come back to the floor. Just going to warm up the hips with the twist festival. So take the arms out, either to shoulder height or cactus arms. You can keep the feet hip distance apart. And inhale, as we breathe out, you're going to drop the knees to the right. Let your head slowly turn towards the left. And just start to be aware of the back and the hips. And that lovely feeling, that gentle stretch across the chest as we come to that twisting posture. Come back to the centre as you breathe in, and breathing out, knees over towards that left side. Head slowly turns towards that right side. Just enjoying each moment and each pose. And try to, as much as you can, be in that moment. Try not to think ahead what's coming, or think about a time when you did the posture before and you felt different. Let yourself be in this moment now. Come back to the centre. We'll do one more over towards the right side. Head turns towards the left. And then back to the centre. And then last time over towards that left side. Head starts to turn towards the right. Just pause for a moment. And then slowly coming back to the centre. Let your arms come down by the sides of the body. You can walk your feet in a little bit closer so that they move in a bit closer towards the body if that feels appropriate. Knees up to the sky. As we inhale, we're going to lift up your hips from here. Lift the spine away. And as you breathe out, releasing down. Going to do that just a couple more times. Use your inhale to lift up. And it's not about how high we lift. Breathing out, releasing down. You're going to take an inhale, lifting up. Starting to notice how the body maybe just starts to open a bit more. And then breathing out, releasing down. As you lift up this time, we can start to let the arms lift. And let the arms lift behind us. And then as we breathe out, release the spine, release the arms back down. Inhaling, lifting up the hips, start to lift up the arms. Then move back behind you. And then breathing out, releasing down. Let the arms come down. Last time, so we'll lift up on the inhale, the arms can lift. Then we're going to stay here and hold that position. So finding something that's going to feel good for the back. So it's not always about how deep we can work these postures. You want to create a sense of calmness that resides within. So checking out the breath, make sure that the breath is that indicator that we're in a pose where we feel quite stable, quite comfortable. Couple more breaths if you can into that posture. And then tilt the pelvis forward, releasing down, bringing your arms all the way back down. let yourself slowly draw your knees in and just slowly having a rock from side to side. You're going to take the hands onto the knees and we'll open up the knees. Feet can be together or apart. Press your hands away so the arms lengthen, and then knees together and move them back in towards your chest. So repeating this, we're creating some really nice movements with your hips and starting to feel the calmness of your breath. So we're starting to wake up the hips and we're checking in maybe how they're feeling. Maybe they feel a little bit tight today, and that's fine. Always watch yourself if you're judging. Try not to get into a story of why your hips or why something might be tight today. Just simply accepting it for what it is. Knowing that you're just going to work with that today. And then moving in the other direction. So just a few of these nice movements. It's great for your back. It's great for the hips. Getting a really nice sense of release and opening around your hips area. And then slowly coming back. You're going to bring the soles of the feet together. Take the feet down to the floor. Let your knees just gently open up from here. Take a moment to take your hands onto your hips and use the warmth of your hands just to allow more softness, more release. Take a moment to pause from here. And then allowing one hand to come into the centre of the chest, the other hand to come on top. So take a moment to tune into the heart centre. Just start to create a sense of feeling peace and ease. And while our hands are here, you might like to just add an intention to your practice today. And one that relates to that theme of contentment and Santosha. So it might be staying in the moment, being content with the body as it is in each posture. It might be a sense of finding a calmness in the poses today. Whatever works, just allow yourself to just go with that. And then allow the arms to open up into a cactus arms position. Arms nice and wide. Spreading the hands. Really let your back just relax from here. And feel how wonderful it feels just to be able to allow the front of the body to just gently open up. A sense of contentment and peace while we're here. Just a couple more breaths. And then slowly release, help the legs back up, knees back in towards the chest, gently rocking from side to side. And then roll over or rock backwards and forwards so that you can come up into your comfortable, easy seated position. So you're going to do a little bit of work on the arms and the shoulders and the front of the body. So do choose something that's going to feel really nice and comfortable for you. I'm going to start off with a crossed legs position from here and just sitting up nice and tall. I'm going to do some really nice calming breaths to allow the attention to move inwards. So the arms can just rest onto the knees. I'm going to take the arms out, take an inhale, bringing the palms together. And then breathing out, bringing the hands in towards the chest. We'll reverse as we breathe in, sending your palms up. And as you breathe out, opening, turning the palms down, coming back to the centre. As we inhale, we'll open up, arms above the head, palms together. Breathing out, bringing the hands back down towards the chest. As you inhale, sending the palms up and above the head. And then breathing out, opening out, bringing the hands back to the centre. Last time, as we inhale, open the arms up, bringing them up above the head. And as you breathe out, hands in towards the chest. Use your inhale to send your palms up from here. And then as you breathe out, opening the arms, bring your hands back to that heart centre. Pause for a moment. Just feeling the energy that you're starting to gently wake up and move in the chest and the heart from here. Allow yourself to take your hands behind the back of the head from here. And then open your arms nice and wide. And if it feels okay, you can lift your chest a little bit higher so you start to work into a bit of a back arch. And feel just this really nice support of your hands in your head, and feel that you're opening up into the front of the body. So we'll take an inhale, then as we breathe out, we'll start to draw the elbows closer, and then we'll round over, gazing back down from here. You're going to use your inhale to open up, and you can move it again into that bit of a back arch. And then as you breathe out, elbows draw in as we round over, as we gaze down. Do one more inhale to lift up, open up. And then breathing out, rounding over, and you can gaze back from here. And then lifting up, coming all the way up. You can keep the elbows open just for a moment longer. You're going to release the hands. You're going to move it into cactus arms. Cactus arms is always really good for opening up the shoulders as well, but also your chest, the heart. Spreading the hands, moving your shoulder blades back and down. You're going to bring your forearms together and your hands together. We'll inhale, lifting up. So elbows lift up, you can look up slightly. And then exhale, rounding over, start to gaze down. Inhale, lifting up. And exhale, rounding over, gazing down. We'll do one more. Inhale, lifting up. And then exhale, rounding over, gazing down. And then coming all the way back, opening up one more time into our cactus arms. And slowly release the hands. So you can stay seated, or if it is an option for you to sit on the heels today, you can move up to the heels. No worries if it's not. Again, have that sense of contentment with where your seated pose is today. And for some of us, it might just be different, and that's fine. So from here, you're going to interlock your hands behind you, and you're going to gently roll your shoulders back. So take a moment, just working slow, to feel just a little bit more release from here. And then once you've found it, we can hold it here. And you can think about maybe pressing your knuckles down a little bit more towards the floor, just to open up the chest. And then coming back a bit more to the centre. If it feels good, you're going to drop your chin slightly down from here and roll your chin across towards that right side. And then rolling it to the centre, all the way over towards that left side. We'll do that again. Inhale back to the centre, over to that right side. And breathing out across to the centre, over towards that left side. Then coming all the way back to the centre, lifting up. So for some of us, we might stay here, we might stay lifted, or it might feel an option to start to come down from here. If you are sitting on your heels, you can always do an option where you lift more up, so you come up onto the top of the head. Make sure that you're not pressing too much pressure on there. Take a couple of moments and then slowly start to lift back up. Once you're all the way back up, slowly release the hands. And just a couple of shoulder rolls back from here. And a few shoulder rolls forwards. And then slowly coming back to the all fours position. So you can stretch your legs out if you need, or when you're ready, come back to the all fours. You're going to allow yourself to do some cat stretches. So we're going to inhale, lift your tailbone, lifting the front of the body, lifting the head. And then breathing out, rounding over, drawing in with the navel gaze back through the legs. So we're going to inhale, lifting again. You can gaze up. And then rounding over, breathing out, gazing back through the legs. One more time to lift up. And then exhale, rounding over, gazing back through the legs. Back to the all fours, and then press yourself back into child's pose. And deciding whether you want the arms more straight or whether you want to bend them, or you might even feel more comfortable taking them down by the sides of the body. And allow yourself to think about this, being in the moment. And it is hard for us. We're all probably people that it is hard to do. We always think about what's coming next, or planning, lots of over planning, where we miss the moment. We miss that sense of being content and feeling gratitude to really be present in the moment. So just pause there, and then slowly take your hands back, if they're not by the sides of the head, pressing yourself back up from here. You're going to tuck the toes under and press into downward dog, and taking time to gently stretch some weight back towards the heels. And then if we're feeling tight in the legs, we're going to just slowly walk out through the heels, bending one leg at a time. And knowing that it's absolutely fine to come down to rest in child's pose and come up again in downward dog if you need to. Allow yourself to come back to the all fours from here. You're going to take the hands slightly forward of your shoulders. You're going to bend the arms and slowly coming all the way down to the floor. We're going to allow ourselves to take Sphinx pose, wide arms, feet a little way apart. We're going to look down. You're going to inhale, slowly lift your head and the chest, and then continue to breathe, deciding whether you need to lower your head or whether you need to press into the elbows. So being content with the body. And often we think about maybe what we did in last practice, or maybe how our body reacted in a different time. So don't get caught up in all that. If you can just really feel in the body and being in the moment and being this sense of Santosha, contentment, being in that moment. And slowly start to release down from here. If it feels okay, we're going to lift up again, just quite low. And then if it works, we can let your arms hover from here. And again, we're not working too high. We're just starting to open up a little bit more into the chest, working the shoulders. If it did work from here, we can allow the legs to lengthen away. And continue to find the calmness of the breath. Feeling work in the back of the body, work in the front of the body. And then slowly lower down, hands underneath your shoulders. And you're going to press back to the all fours, tucking the toes under and pressing back into a downward dog from here. We're going to lift up our right leg into our three-legged downward dog. Spend a couple of breaths from here and then bending that leg and coming forward, stepping that foot in between the hands. Alternatively, come to your warrior position if you're not doing knee work today. And then lowering that back knee down to the floor, padding it if you need to. Slowly allowing yourself to lift up from here. You might find that you sink a little lower. You want to keep rooting into that front foot. And wherever you are, we're going to take your hands into locking your hands behind you. So like we did a little bit at the seated bit in the class. And if it works, you can lift your chest. So you feel a really nice sense of release in the front of the body. You're going to inhale, then as we breathe out, you're going to press into that foot. You're going to round over from here. And then inhale to lift back up. You can slowly release the hands and move them into cactus arms. And then slowly come back to hands either side of the foot, tucking the toes and pressing back into your downward dog. And spend a few breaths just enjoying being in that downward dog, or releasing if you need to. And allowing our left leg to lengthen away from us. Spend a few moments just stretching that leg away. And then bending that leg. Then it's going to be your left leg steps forward, or come into warrior for the same thing with the arm movement. lowering your back knee down, you can release the foot and pad that knee if you need to. Slowly lifting up from here, drawing into the navel, feeling a nice stretch on the front of that back thigh. Okay, we're going to interlock the fingers, take the hands behind the head and open up and lifting up our chest, just watching the back. So make sure we always do something that feels good for the back. Just feeling that nice feeling of openness but being supported with the head. Inhale, and then as you breathe out, rounding over, gazing down. Inhale to open back up. And then exhale, rounding over, gazing down. Going to do one more to lift up. And then slowly release the hands, cactus the arms. So you get a wonderful release around your shoulder blades. And then take your hands either side of the foot, tucking your toes. You can step back into downward dog, holding downward dog for a few breaths. And then bending the legs slowly, walking the feet towards the hands. Letting the hands come to the hips, and we'll slowly lift all the way up, allowing our shoulders to release back and down. Take a couple of moments to find mountain posture. And just simply observe how you're feeling from just doing some more work into the chest, the heart centre, connecting to your intention or that feeling of gratitude and feeling peace and calmness through that. Allow your eyes to gently open from here. You're going to take your hands onto your shoulders from here. You're going to allow yourself to take your feet can be hip distance apart from here. So from here we're going to take a breath to lift out, and as you breathe out, rounding over as the elbows draw in. So the inhale to lift and elbows to come in. So just do it nice and slow first of all. So what you see, what that feels like. And it's not much pressure on the hands, it's just fingertips on the top of them. And then you might make it a bit quicker, or you might keep it a bit slow. It's maybe a bit more of a forceful inhale and exhale. Last one. And slowly release. Take a moment to see how that feels. You're going to interlock the hands behind you, stepping the feet little way apart, hip distance or close if it feels more appropriate. Gently rolling back the shoulders. Take a moment just to pause and be here. And then softening the knees, start to fold over the legs into that forward fold. And you can allow yourself to just gently move from side to side so you get a nice release again into the shoulders. And then take the hands on the lower back, release, catch hold of opposite elbows. Just take some weight down in towards the earth. And then if it's appropriate, then you can take either fingertips or hands or even back of the hands down to the floor. Soften the legs and just feel a sense of ease and letting go as you come into the forward fold. Let your hands return to the hips and we'll slowly lift and come all the way to standing. We're going to come to the front of the mat and we're going to step our right foot back, so into a warrior position from here. We're going to lift up the arms and taking the arms up and having a nice reach up, allowing our chest to lift and sink a little bit lower if you need to. Going to cactus the arms from here, so bringing the arms down. If it feels okay, then we're going to inhale, going to come up onto the toes of the back foot where you lengthen. And then as you breathe out, coming down. You can still work the same if you're in your warrior, just this lengthening and bending as we come into the posture. Breathing out as we come down. We'll do one more. Inhale to lengthen, breathing out. And planting that foot back to the floor. You can take the hands behind you. You can step that back foot in a little bit and lengthen that front leg. Gently drawing your shoulders back. Inhale, and as you breathe out, you're going to fold forward over that front leg, allowing your arms to release behind. If you need to release them, that's absolutely fine. Try to even out your shoulders so your shoulders are not lifting. And then slowly lifting up, coming all the way to standing, releasing the hands. So we're going to step forwards and then step in our left foot back. So a warrior position, so legs can be a little bit wider first of all. Hips are facing round from here. You're going to send the arms up and take a moment just to find this sense of calmness and peace into your warrior position. You're going to cactus the arms from here. You're going to take a nice breath as you inhale. You can come up onto the toes where you lengthen into that front leg. And then breathing out, bending, coming in. So inhale to lengthen, lifting up. And then breathing out, bending, cactus arms. Do one more. Inhale to lengthen. And then breathing out, cactus arms. And slowly, hands on the hips, you can plant again that foot on the floor. You can close the stance if it's too wide. When your hips facing around, lengthen your front leg, and you're going to sweep the arms around the body, back behind the body again, and roll your shoulders back. Take a moment to pause from here. And inhale, and as you breathe out, slowly folding forward over that front leg, allowing our arms to come up and over, or you can release them if you need to. And just checking if it feels too intense, if it feels too strong, the pose, then come up slightly higher so that you find the sense of contentment and peace in the posture. Just allowing us to find what our body allows us to do today. And then slowly lifting up. Once you're up, release the hands and stepping the feet back together. We're going to work on our long sides of the mat now, and then we'll open out our feet into a wider stance for warrior toe. So you're going to turn the right foot out, left foot forward. We're going to raise the arms from here. We're going to bend into that right leg. You're going to press back into that back foot. Take a few breaths. And then slowly from here, you're going to allow yourself to take your back hands down. And your top hand, your right hand, is going to just come onto the chest from here. So you get a nice sense of breathing into the heart centre. And then coming back into the warrior position. You're going to bend your right arm, resting it onto that right thigh. You're going to take your left hand onto the chest and open up from here. If it was an option, you can open out into that arm. The next option would be to turn the palm towards you and take that arm up and above the head. Just feeling a sense of calmness and peace that resides within. Gazing down, using your arms to lift all the way back up. Lengthen the leg, feet to the front. And for a moment, take your hands one on top of the other to the heart centre. Just pause for a moment and breathe. And just feel this calmness, this peace of being in the present moment with your breath. And then taking your hands back to the hips, we'll step your left foot out, right foot forward, raising the arms shoulder high. Inhale, and as you breathe out, we're going to bend into that left leg for your warrior, so press back into that back foot. You're going to take that right hand, back hand down. You're going to take your left hand onto your chest to heart and lifting up from here. Take some attention so you breathe into where your hand is as well. Send that breath all the way up here. And then moving back to warrior toe. Bending your left arm, resting it on that thigh. Right hand is going to come to your heart centre and As you open up the chest, rolling that shoulder back. So you can either stay here or you can lift up, extend that arm up. If it works, taking that arm up and over. Take a few breaths, feel the calmness, the ease of the posture. And then gazing down, use the arms to lift up, lengthen the leg, feet to the front. Let the hands again, one on top of the other, come to the chest, the heart centre. Either closing the eyes or a soft gaze. So tune in again to the breath. Think about what contentment means for you. Where can you find more contentment in your own life? Where can you be more in the moment? Rather than jumping into the future and thinking back into the past, where can you just simply cultivate being in the moment more? And that is when we develop our own inner happiness. Let the eyes open, take your hands on the hips. You can have your feet to the front, you can move them in slightly or big toes in slightly. And then we're going to move forward into our wider legs, standing forward folds. You can take the hands to the floor or folding the arms and bring weight into the fronts of the feet as you slowly allow the head to release. And you're going to just hold it here for a few breaths. So feel the calmness of that pose. Feel a sense of release as the head moves closer down towards the earth. You might even feel more of a connection to the heart space as well in this forward fold position. You're going to lift up the head, let your hands come to the hips and come all the way up. You're going to step or heel toe your feet back together and come back to mountain posture, a few breaths from here. We're going to work into our tree pose and we're going to add a nice side bend stretch into it. And we're going to think about just feeling this calmness, this being in the moment coming from the heart centre. So hands on the hips and we'll lift up that right foot. And you're going to open out the knee and the hip into a position that works. Feel free to take the leg up higher or onto the inside of that thigh from here. Take a moment just to feel that balance and see what happens. And try not to get angry or stressed or cross with yourself if you come out. Just come back to a calm breath. If it feels okay, you're going to take the right hand and place it into the centre of the chest and allowing your left arm to lift up from here. And then we're going to slowly take it into a side bend stretch towards that knee side, so towards that right side. You might even like to focus your breath into that left side of the body and then slowly coming back to the centre, releasing. You can bring your palms together and then take that foot all the way to the floor. And I do the same on the left foot, so opening out that left foot. Maybe you do the same as what you did. Maybe you keep the feet to the floor. And then from here, we're going to slowly just take the hands either side, a little bit of balance. Just cultivate that balance, first of all, that openness through your hands. And it's going to be your left hand comes to the centre of the chest and the right arm lifts from here. And spend a moment just breathing, gently reaching up. And then if it feels okay, working from a sense of calmness and ease, as we start to challenge the posture more, as we move into a side bend. You might like to focus your breath onto that right side of the body and then slowly coming back. You release the hands, you can release the foot and taking that foot down to the floor. Give the legs a shake and a release and just come back to the front of the mat, separating your feet. Take an inhale, we'll raise the arms above us, looking up. And then exhale, soften the knees. Keep your palms together as you bring them in towards the heart centre as you start to come into a half forward fold. Letting the hands move to your shins. Take an inhale to lift up. And then exhale, soften and fold. Come up again with the hands on the shins for another breath in. And then as you breathe out, soften and fold. One more time. Inhale to come up. And then exhale, soften and fold. And just stay for a moment in that forward fold. Make sure that the pose is not too intense. We do want to be working the legs and working to just let the shoulders release, but we want a sense of ease as well. And then we can find that sense of contentment and gratitude for the body in our pose. When you're ready, slowly allow the legs to bend and come down to the floor. And we're going to finish off in our camel posture. So all that clasping work has been really good. All that lunging work has been very good to open up your muscles in the front of the thigh. Ideally, if you can't kneel today, you can always do an option where you come to standing and we can work. A little bit of work here is fine as well. So pad your knees if you need to and tuck your toes from here. You're going to take your hands behind you, fingers pointing down. We're going to support the back and just take a moment to allow your chest to lift from here. Keep that head where it is and just breathe in. And then slowly coming back to the centre. We're going to do it one more time. So we're going to take a nice breath to lift up. And if it works, if it's an option, you can reach back. You can take hold of your heels, or you might use your fingers to pinch, take hold of the top bits there. You can allow yourself either to keep the chin in, or only if you know that your head will be supported, you can take your head back. And just feel this wonderful sense of feeling really open in the front of the body. And then we're going to take our hands either back to the lower back or hands on the hips. And then bring your head back up at the same time. Slowly allowing ourselves to sit back to the bottoms. Taking the legs out in front at a bent angle. And then we're going to just do a nice easy forward fold, a bit of a restorative fold, keeping the legs bent. As we come over the body, you might fold the arms or you might let them release. If you fold the arms, you can let your head just release from here. Let the eyes close or a soft gaze and just focus on your breath from here. Feeling this sense of connecting to the heart centre. Feeling that space that you've created in the back. And then slowly lifting back up. We'll keep the legs bent for a TP twist. So you can either bring the legs closer together or slightly apart. If you need to sit up on something as well, that's fine. And we're going to take your left hand across the legs, right hand behind you. Inhale, and as you breathe out, we're going to ease into that really nice TP twist towards that right side. Softening the shoulders, feeling that you feel connected with your roots. So whatever's touching the earth right now, through your sit bones, good connection. And then coming back to the centre. Inhale, and as you breathe out, we'll move across into that TP twist to that left side. Shoulders nice and relaxed. Feel again rooted with your sit bones. And then nice and slowly coming all the way back to the centre. And take the arms out and take a slow roll down towards the earth from here. And once you're down, hug your knees in towards the chest. Maybe taking that just gentle rock from side to side. And then placing the feet back to the floor, or lengthening out the legs is fine. Letting the arms rest down by the sides of the body. And just let everything just relax for the next few moments. Feeling the body becoming heavy, feeling the contact with the body, with the earth. Letting the face relax from here, letting the mouth relax. And taking our attention just to the heart centre, everything that we've worked towards opening up today. And as you breathe, start to feel the breath becoming a little bit more calmer, a bit more softer, and just feel how that breath just gently eases in and out. Tune into that gentle movement that you feel in the body, and you might be feeling it maybe in the belly, the rib cage. You might also feel it in your chest, in the heart. And feel, actually sense today that you've created space in your chest, in your heart. Developing our sense of, again, contentment, of being at peace and ease with the present moment, not striving anymore. So contentment is not the fulfillment of what you want, but the realization of how much you already have. So for a moment, just be there, just totally be in the moment of Shavasana. Letting the body relax and just being in tune with the breath. And just start to listen to that breath again. Be aware of the body that's lying on the earth and a sense of calmness and peace that you've created in your whole practice today. If you wish to stay longer to relax, then take as long as you need. But if you're ready to start to move, small movements, wriggling fingers and toes, taking the arms above the head and just easing into a gentle stretch, bringing the arms down by the sides of the body, letting the legs begin to bend, and once they've bent, hugging your knees in towards the chest, and just really pause there for a moment as you feel you're giving yourself a big hug from here, appreciating the body and what your body has let you do in the class today. Just roll over when you're ready onto the right side of the body. And then when you're ready, come all the way up into your comfortable, easy seated position. And allow yourself to, you can let your back of your hands rest on the knees, so the palms facing up. Take a moment to feel a really nice openness from here. And then from here, let your palms come together. Bring your hands into Anjali Mudra, hands in towards the heart center. And just feel the connection with the hands gently pressing in towards your chest. I'll read you out a really nice quote from the Yamas and Niyamas, Deborah Adele, the book that is really great for looking at these Yamas and Niyamas. And she says, Santosha invites us into contentment by taking refuge in a calm centre, opening our hearts in gratitude for what we have, and practicing the paradox of not seeking. So take that calmness and kindness of the idea of gratitude and contentment into the rest of your day and into everything that you do this week, gently reminding yourself of those themes. Let your head bow down and then slowly blink the eyes open. And as you inhale, lift your head, lift your heart. Namaste. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed the practice, and I look forward to catching up with you soon.